I was asked to tell a story about my first Martin guitar, which was also my last Martin guitar. When I was growing up, my parents both wished that they had taken piano lessons when they were children, so I was forced to take piano lessons. This is in Concord, New Hampshire. The woman's name was, she was mean. And the piano lessons they were horrible. Nobody explained to me that this music was supposed to be enjoyable. It was a manual dexterity exercise. And I basically flunked out of piano. But I had an older cousin who played ukulele. And he taught me how to play ukulele, and that was fun. He taught me, Apple, Bull, Mirror, My Father's Whiskers, and all these silly old songs. And that was a lot of fun. And then sometime around puberty, I decided I should get a guitar, because it would be more manly. And I had this parade rifle. It was basically a wooden, because this is, the Second World War had just ended, and everybody had a parade rifle. It's a wooden stock and a piece of pipe for the barrel. And I traded that for a guitar. I didn't know anything about guitars, so I traded a rifle that wouldn't shoot for a guitar that wouldn't play. My dad took pity on me and bought me a Martin D18, which was my first real guitar. I've had a lot of guitars since then. On stage, tonight I'll have on stage probably 4 guitars, a 12-string and a bunch of open tunings. I actually started, people ask me for stories. I told the one about the guy from New Hampshire. And I started telling stories actually because I'd gotten into open tunings and I only had one guitar. And in between songs, I was tuning, and the audience is starting to look at their watches and shuffle their feet. And so I started telling stories to keep people's attention in between the songs. It worked. I'm still telling stories. Let's see, I'm supposed to talk about my career. I have no idea what to say about my career. Except that this is my 68th annual farewell tour. I'm looking forward to the next 68. So I went to Cambridge to go to college, and I was given this radio show at Harvard's FM station, WHRB. They had a weekly show, 30-minute show on Tuesday night, maybe at 7 o'clock, something like that, called Balladeers. And the guy that had been running the show had graduated, and they needed somebody to be the host, and they asked me if I'd like to take it on. And I said, well, okay, I don't know anything about this, but I'll give it a try. My nickname at the station was Dead Air. Because if I couldn't think of anything to say, I wouldn't say anything. We can turn the monitor down if that helps. But my job was basically to go out and recruit guests for the show. I was the host. I would play an introductory instrumental, and then I'd probably do a song and talk to the guest, and the guest would do most of the rest of the songs. But I had to come up with guests. So I had to go to the hootenannies, the open mics, and recruit people. Would you like to come on the radio? Well, how about you? And it worked pretty well. I discovered you could get into a hootenanny for free if you had a guitar with you. And then I discovered you could get in for free if you had a guitar case with you. And I put a 6-pack in the guitar case and head off to the hootenannies. And I was playing at this place called the Golden Vanity, and I was at the Golden Vanity at a hoop. And the boss, Carl Bowers, bless his crooked little heart, said, hey, you kid, get on stage, you got in for free. I had to borrow a guitar and I was terminally nervous. I did 4 songs or whatever, and apparently did well enough that Carl called me up a week later and somebody told me they would like me to do a substitute. So I did that for a while. My first paid gig, other than, actually I started the 68-year farewell tour clock when I first got paid to play music, which was in Paris, street singing in Paris, summer of '59. But once I was in Cambridge, there was no money involved until I got hired to play this club, and I'm blanking on the name of it, but it was a little tiny, 50 seat room or something. And a friend of mine, Johnny Pankin, was a flamenco guitar player. He'd been playing there once a week forever. But he wanted to go live with the gypsies in Spain and learn how they played the guitar. Of course, they didn't want anything to do with him once he got there. But he asked me if I would take over his gig at the Salamander. That was the name of it. And I got there and they propped me up in a corner on a stool, and I was playing and people were listening and clapping and seemed to be really enjoying themselves. And I thought, this is great. And at the end of the night, the guy gave me my $10 and told me my services would no longer be required. And I said, but I thought they were enjoying me. And he said, that's the problem. I don't want them listening to some folk singer. I want them playing chess and having conversations. Get out of here. So it's been downhill ever since. But I met a lot of people doing the Balladeers show on WHRB. The previous host, had mainly recruited local kids to be on the show, and I branched out a little bit. I got Pete Seeger to come on the show, and Odetta, and Joan Baez, of course, was living in the Boston area, so she was there. And I got some of the old legends, the blues legends, to come on. Jesse Conn Young, not Jesse Conn.
Yeah.
Jesse Fuller.
Jesse Fuller, yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah.
They're all the same. I've got Jesse Fuller come on the show, and it was a radio show. And Jesse Fuller, as you may remember, had this setup. He had a 12-string guitar, a harmonica, and a neck rack. He was playing rhythm with something with his left foot, and his right foot he had this instrument that he built himself called the Fadella. And it had a few keys on it, like a piano sort of, and he'd play it, he'd take the shoe off his right foot and play it with his big toe. This is an act made for radio. It took me half the show to explain what he was doing. But one of his songs was a song that everybody back then had to do. I got the blues from a baby down by the San Francisco Bay. There's an ocean line that took it so far away. I didn't mean to treat her so bad. She's the best girl I ever have had. Said goodbye and made me crying. I'm gonna lay right down and die. Well, I ain't got a nickel, ain't got a lousy dime. If she don't come back, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. If she ever come back to stay, well, that'll be a brand new day. Walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. Walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. Let's see, what else can I tell you about those days? Oh, those theme song. The theme song for the Balladeers show was an instrumental that Jeff Mulgar wrote.
Yeah.
He tells me I do it all wrong, but he's delusional. He does it all wrong. I've got it right. It's called Mole's Moan. coffee house. It was 1 block from my dorm, and it was therefore irresistible. And it was a little 80-seat coffee house, no booze involved. And they hosted the local kids, myself included. Most of us played at the Club 47 one time or another. I had a regular gig there finally, which was a big honor. But they also brought in the legends. And this little 80-seat room hosted the Carter family, Flat and Scruggs, Bill Monroe, all over the place. And it was just amazing. And they brought in a lot of the old blues guys, and I adored the blues guys, partly because I was an English major. What these guys did to syntax. That's breathtaking. But, I don't know, and they were mostly very approachable. You could go up to Sleepy John Estes and say, how do you do that thing you do? And he would show you. It was amazing. But it did occur to me at the time, it must have been really disorienting for these blues guys, because they're mostly coming from the Deep South, where they were playing in bars with chicken wire in front of the stage, because people would throw beer bottles at them. And here they are in Cambridge, Massachusetts, playing to 80 youngsters, many wearing neckties, all white, and paying with detention. And it must have been really disorienting, because not what they were used to at all. But they were very, very cool. And I got some of them on my radio show. Let's see, what can I do for you I'm doing a bunch of things here I haven't done in decades, so.
That's great.
I was in Missouri, you would not let me be. I was in Missouri, boys, they would not let me be. Could not rest content till I come to Tennessee. I said, follow me, baby, I'll turn your money green. Follow me, child, I'll turn your money green. Give you more money than Rockefeller ever seen. Now you're talking about big-hearted, I swear I'm an honest man. Talking about big-hearted, declare I'm an honest man. Gave my baby money and broke her apron string. Oh, I'd holler bloody murder, but this doggone town too small. Oh, I'd holler, this town too small. Girl I'm loving, she don't love me at all. I looked over muddy waters, believe I spied dry land. Wading muddy waters, just trying to reach dry land. You don't love me, baby, then let's shake hand in hand. I was in Missouri, you would not let me be. I was in Missouri, boys, the women would not let me be. Could not rest content till I come to Tennessee. So there's a whole bunch of us youngsters playing different kinds of folk music. Almost everybody was a specialist. You played blues, or you played bluegrass, or you played cowboy songs. And I was kind of the generalist. I would find songs that I liked, didn't care about the genre. Got me in trouble. I was the first of the crowd to have an album out, an LP, which came about because this guy named Dan Flickinger, I was playing every week at the Unicorn in Boston, and Dan Flickinger came down and he said, "Do you want to make an album?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." I'd heard that before, nothing had ever come of it. But he dragged his tape recorder the size of an oven, which is how they were back then, down the steps, and he recorded 2 nights, 2-night shows, a week apart at the Unicorn. And I remember him telling me it was morally indefensible, it was unethical to intersplice. You couldn't take the first half of a song from night 1 and splice the second half from night 2. That was just yucky. I learned later he didn't know how to edit tape. But it was his own label. This wasn't like a national label. He had something like 300 copies pressed, and he distributed them out of his backseat of his Studebaker to the local record stores. But I remember I went into the Harvard Coop, which was the biggest record store in Cambridge. I was all excited to see my album on the rack. This is a big step forward. And I was in the folk section, and I called the manager over, and I said, "Well, yeah, I do some traditional folk, but I also do some blues." And he said, "Okay." Took me and he moved me into the blues section. And I said, "Well, I also do some cowboy." I ended up in miscellaneous. Learns not to argue about genres. It's an interesting experience. And then everybody, pretty soon, Prestige came to town, and another label, and everybody had an album on a national label except me. And finally, Paul Rothschild, who was working for Prestige, signed me up for Prestige, and I made 1 album for Prestige. It went over pretty well, for a folk album. But then Paul Rothschild moved over to Elektra, and I wanted to make another album with him. But Prestige wouldn't allow that. They said, "Oh, Jack Holzman, who runs Elektra, would never allow that." Well, Jack Holzman actually wanted me on Elektra. So I went back to Prestige and I said, "No, I'm a Harvard graduate. I don't need this stuff. I'll be a lawyer or something. I don't." And I tell you what, I'll make you 1 more album if Paul Rothschild can produce it. And they laughed. They said, "Holzman would never allow that." Holzman did allow it. So we went in the studio. I think it was just me and Fritz Richmond and Washington Bass, and we made an album of traditional folk stuff. And then the very next week, went back into a different studio with a whole bunch of highly qualified players. John Sebastian told me this was the 2nd paid gig he'd ever had. And we made the first album for Elektra. And Prestige didn't know there was a race on, so Elektra actually released their album before the Prestige album came out. And that all went well. And we did a 2nd album for Elektra. And then a bunch of time went by. I was running out of traditional folk stuff that I enjoyed. Actually, the 2nd album for Elektra has one side of traditional folk and the other side rock and roll. Because when I got into music, it was in the late 50s when the rock and roll thing was going. And so we, recorded, probably butchered a bunch of hits by, all kinds of rock and roll stars. And that was the 2nd album, and then I'd run out of folk altogether. And 2 years go by, and Jack Holzman is getting antsy with me, and I don't know what to do. And along came Joni and Jackson Browne and James Taylor, all within 6 months of each other. And I said, I love those songs. They're not traditional folk, but I love them. And so I built the album around Joni's circle gang. And she'd never been recorded before. Nobody had recorded anything of hers. And the same with James Taylor. Jackson Browne, I recently learned, I'm blanking on the name of his girlfriend, but his girlfriend actually released a recording. He wrote that these days when he was 16. It's disgusting, I hate it. But anyway, this album, it's a Circle Game album, according to Rolling Stone magazine, ushered in the singer-songwriter era. They never proved anything. I was never indicted, but that kind of set me on the path. In fact, I should plug a project for you. I've been doing, since COVID came in and shut down all the venues, I've been doing an online series called Rockport Sundays, and it's past the word. It's a video series that I do at home, in my studio at home, with a guest. And we chat a little bit, and I do a song, and they do a song. And they're about 15-minute episodes. It took me it took a little getting used to the idea of being in a video situation. When you tell a joke to a video camera, it doesn't laugh. And that was hard. That was hard to get used to. But anyway, I'm still doing it now. And it's a weekly series. They're posted on Sunday mornings. They stay up for 8 weeks. Check it out. It should be fun. Another project, I'm not even sure if I should mention this.
Yeah, mention it.
You think I should?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, don't tell anybody. It's our secret.
It's being recorded.
A friend of mine named Joe Spalding, we used to run the Wang Center in Boston for 40 years. And we built it from a derelict theater up to a major cultural centerpiece. He retired, and he's working, he doesn't understand retirement, because he's working on several big projects. One of them is, he wants to do a TV series called Rockport Sunday. Called Club 47. And the theme would be, we get a well-known artist to introduce a youngster. Because it's so hard for the youngsters to get started these days. In the old times, if you had a record deal, the record company would get you on the radio nationwide, and there you go. They're all taken care of. That doesn't work anymore. It's all online now. Spotify. 2,000 plays on Spotify won't buy you a cup of coffee. So how do you get started? I just hired a kid that I heard playing in a bar in Boston to be my accompanist. Matt Nicola will be with me tonight, actually.
That's the guy, yeah.
I hired Matt 10 years ago when he was totally unknown. But anyway, the object of this TV series, and PBS is all excited about it, but the object is to help some youngsters get a start on getting out of playing in bars where nobody's listening to you, onto stages. Anyway, and does anybody have any questions? I'm running out of things to talk about.
Did you tune a guitar while you were telling this whole story?
Well, I'm happy with the tuning it's in. I don't have another tuning in mind, but I would have.
Can you talk about your relationship with Philadelphia?
My relationship with Philadelphia.
Okay.
Okay. Well, my father grew up in the Philly suburbs. My grandma lived, I can't remember the name of the town, but she lived close to the mic a little more. She lived close to Philly. And that's about it. Well, it goes deeper than that because of Gene Shea. I can't remember. I took a year off from Harvard to go out and discover whether I could actually make a living playing music. And the answer was, just barely. But one of the first gigs I had, I set off for the West Coast. And the first trip, I made it as far as Philadelphia. Second trip, I got to Washington, D.C. Third trip, I made it to Florida. Geography was not my best subject. But I played this club
The second fret.
in Philly, and I cannot remember
Second
the name
fret.
of it.
Second fret.
No,
The second fret?
It didn't last long. I doubt anybody
Main point.
knows it. It was run by this guy who was a bank guard. That was his day job. And he ran this club. It was a tiny little place, and I didn't know what it was supposed to be like. He was supposed to provide me with a place to stay. And at the end of the first night, I said, where am I staying? He said, oh, and he got this folding bed and put it on the stage.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I said, well, okay, I guess it's. But I woke up in the middle of the night with gunshots going off. And there was a rat running back and forth under my bed. And he was shooting at it. Welcome to Philadelphia. But Gene Shea, as everybody here knows, was a major voice for folk in the city. And it's the reason, I think, it's the reason there is a Philadelphia Folk Festival.
You found it, yeah.
And all that.
How'd you meet him?
Hmm?
How did you meet Gene?
I probably, I don't remember the answer to that. I played, every time I got to town, I would play on a show, and I'm pretty sure I was playing one of the clubs, and I got invited to be on the air with him. And it was a treat, because he did such a good interview. He was so insightful and enthusiastic about everything. He was, I miss him. I miss Gene.
We all miss him.
Yeah. Anybody else got something?
You gonna write a book?
As his theme.
I'm sorry?
He used Mole's Moan as his
Yeah.
theme.
Yeah. Mole's Moan. That's right. Mole's Moan.
Yeah, was his name, absolutely.
I'd forgotten that part. Thank you. Thank you.
On your show, John Turner was putting your favorite time. Did you ever have him on your show?
I probably did. Spider John. Yeah. Yeah. He was a good buddy. The thing I remember about John was that he had a fake ID that said he was actually younger. Because he was 26. Nobody would believe he was 21. So he had to get an ID that said he was 21 in order to get a drink. That's kind of backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Did you have something?
Yeah, you gonna write a book?
Are you going to write a
Did
book?
you write a book?
Am I going to write a book? I've actually got, I think it's 5 books in the works.
Oh, okay.
None of which seem to be making a lot of progress. The one that's relevant, I guess, to us, I've got a book I've actually probably got enough. I should give it over to an editor and let them. It's called, no, I can't remember the title.
That's a clever title.
Roadmap. It's called Roadmap, Why You Probably Don't Want to Be a Performing Musician. And it's all about how to do a sound check, how to get along with the band, how to get the hotel to cancel your room less than 24 hours out. Useful tips. I've got a novel, I've got a collection of poetry, and I'm currently working on a bunch of short stories, kind of like what I've been telling you guys now.
Good.
Which has been fun.
Good stuff.
When you were selecting songs to put in your itinerary and looking at different songwriters, did you get inspiration as well as real desire?
Do I get inspiration from when I'm looking for songs to do? I think the answer from my perspective is when I'm learning a song from Joni or anybody, I will take that song and listen to the original, listen to Joni's recording over and over until I've learned the song, and then I won't listen to the original anymore because I want it to drift off into my own territory, which has worked kind of well. Nobody's sued me yet for getting it wrong. Let's see, maybe speaking of that, I met Joni in Detroit, Michigan. It was probably 66. And she had just started writing songs. And she came into this club that I was playing at, the Chessmate. She'd been in a folk duo with her then husband Chuck Mitchell,
Yep.
doing traditional folk. And Chuck apparently was not being supportive of her songwriting. She came into the chess meet and asked the boss if she could do a 4-song guest set so that I could hear some of her new songs and maybe record them, which worked out well. And the 4th song she did that night was this one. I woke up today and found the frost perched on the town. It hovered in a frozen sky and gobbled summer down. And when the sun turns trigger cold and the shivering trees are standing in a naked row, I get the urge for going, and I never seem to go. And I get the urge for going when the meadow grass is turning brown. Summertime is a falling down, winter closing in. And I had a girl in summertime with summer-colored skin, and not another man in town my darling's heart could win. And when the leaves fell trembling down and bully winds did rub their faces in the snow, she got the urge for going. I had to let her go. And she got the urge for going when the meadow grass was turning brown. Summertime was a falling down, winter closing in. Now the warriors of winter give a cold triumphant shout. All that stays is dying, all that lives is getting out. You see the geese in chevron flight, flapping and racing on before the snow. Got the urge for going, we got the wings to go. And they get the urge for going when the meadow grass is turning brown. The summertime is a falling down, winter closing in. Apply the fire with kindling, and pull the blankets to match in. I'll lock the vagrant winter out and bolt my wandering in. I'd like to call back summertime and have her stay for just another month or so. She's got the urge for going, they she'll have to go. And she gets the urge for gold when the meadow grass is turning brown.
Dust.
In the right key, too. And she gets the urge
One more.
when the meadow grass is turning brown, and all her empires are falling down, winter closing in, and I get the urge for gold when the meadow grass is turning brown. Summertime is the falling down. It does take me back to the main point.
Yeah.
Firehouse right across the street, and the sirens would always go off in the middle of a song like this one. I wouldn't pick an up-tempo song, and they would be in the wrong key. These guys were at least in the right key.
Yeah.
What's my schedule like?
Got another 10
Am I
minutes.
supposed to be done soon, or?
Another hour, I think.
Another hour?
Oh, yeah.
Easily fill that.
Dragon Wheel. Well, I could try that.
Tom, who are the people you're listening to now? The young.
You know, to be honest, I listened to Matt Nicola.
What? That's obvious.
I met Matt 10 years ago. I'll tell you the story about how I met Matt. I was doing a show at Symphony Hall in Boston, and I had a bunch of guest artists coming, and I wanted them to learn some songs ahead of time. So I went to a friend's studio. We had a studio in the basement, and I'm recording my demos for my guest artists. And my friend says, "Do you want any keyboards on this?" And I said, "No." He said, "I got a guy here who's really good." I said, "No." He said, "He's really, really good." I said, "Oh, okay, I'm getting the studio for free. I'll humor him." Okay, one song. So we went upstairs and he woke up mad. He said, "Tom, who now? I want to sleep. Get out of here." Finally drags him downstairs, and Matt played on one song. And it really sounded good. So he played on another. He played on all the songs.
Yeah.
And at the end of the afternoon, I said, "I'm doing a show on the 28th of December. Would you like to join me?" He said, "Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty busy. What club is it?" And I said, "Well, actually, it's Symphony Hall." And there was a moment's silence, and he allowed us how he probably could clear his schedule. And that was the first time we played together. But part of my goal in hiring somebody like Matt is to try to build him up, because he had nothing going on at that time. He was really, really talented, but nothing going on. So when I get on stage with Matt, or I've now got a young kid named Brendan Cleary, who is a monster talent. And I heard him playing in a bar in Boston. And I thought, this kid is too good to be playing in bars where nobody listens to you. So in January, Matt was busier with more important things. He was actually in Spain writing music for a Broadway play. So I asked Brendan if he'd like to come on the road with me, and he's been great too. But the accompanist always not only accompanies me, but they get to do a few songs on their own and hopefully build an audience of their own. And that's kind of kind of been a theme, you know, starting with the Balladeer show and introducing people to a radio audience up through the series, and now hopefully the Club 47 series. Let's see here. Driving Wheel. David Whiffen, who wrote this, recently passed away. Canada produces such great songs. It's great history. Gordon Lightfoot, Joni, Neil Young, Ian and Sylvia. This is a song I never do solo. Wish Me Luck. Just came up on a midnight special. Hey, how about that? My car broke down in Texas. Stopped dead in her tracks. I just called to tell you that I love you. Oh, baby. I just called to tell you how I feel. I feel like some old engine light. I lost my driving wheel. Oh, I feel like some old engine. I lost my driving wheel. Took my money on the night train up. It was a terrible fate. They gave my promise I would be there with you. Last Saturday night. I just called to tell you that I love you. Oh, babe. I just called to tell you and how I feel. I feel like some old engine. I lost my driving wheel. Oh, I feel like some old engine. I lost my driving wheel, yeah. Some old engine. You can't say much in a phone call, babe. You know how it is. But I called to tell you one sure thing. Won't you listen to this? I just called to tell you that I need you. Oh, baby. And I need to tell you how I feel. I feel like some old engine. I lost my driving wheel. Oh, I feel like lost my driving wheel, and I feel like I'm some old angel. I lost my driving wheel, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I'll see you tonight.
Thank you.